Until Dawn released in August of 2015 for Sony's PlayStation 4. I remember reading about this game way before its release in Game Informer, and I was pretty excited for it. You don't see very many horror titles anymore, and I think that was a big reason that the hype was the way it was for Resident Evil 7. But Until Dawn is a completely different style of game than Resident Evil. It's an interactive game. The game starts with 10 close friends hanging out at their winter getaway location. The friends consist of Mike and his girlfriend Emily, Matt, Jessica, Sam, Ashley, Chris, Josh, and his two twin sisters Beth and Hannah. The location is actually owned by Josh, Hannah, and Beth. So here's where the story gets its reasoning. Hannah has the hots for Mike. That's right, the hots. Well, they thought it would be a fun idea to trick her into thinking Mike was also interested. So a fake note was written for Hannah, supposedly from Mike, telling her to meet him in the guest room at 2 a.m. Well, as 2 a.m. nears, everyone hides to see what would actually happen. Hannah shows up and starts to take her top off for Mike. She then hears Jessica start laughing, and everyone comes out and she takes off running out of embarrassment. I'll also mention that Sam wanted no part of the prank, and her sister Beth and brother Josh had no idea. You take control of Beth and have to chase down your sister, who ran deep into the woods at 2 a.m. During this part, Hannah and Beth both fall off a cliff being chased by a mystery man and fall to their deaths. Fast forward a year later. Everyone is invited by Josh to come out again. Some things have changed since last year. Mike and Emily have split. Mike is now dating Jessica. Emily is now dating Matt. And obviously the twins are no longer around. Needless to say, Emily and Jessica don't get along anymore. So Mike and Jessica are headed out to stay in the guest cabin. Secretly, Emily still wants Mike, and if you do certain things in the game, you can call her out on it when you play as Matt. Chris has a thing for Ashley. It's basically high school in a cabin. That's basically what it is. Eventually, a masked psycho shows up and puts the group of friends in situations similar to the Saw movies. I like this game because as you progress, it has everything from a slasher style of horror movies, even a paranormal style. So there's something here for everyone. Throughout the game, you can find little tiki totems that can show you the future, and certain totems show you a death that could occur if you don't make the right decisions. I must inform you, you can find twin clues throughout your journey in the game. Search every location good because you don't necessarily need to find them all, but they're very important come time for the end of the game. This game is very similar to games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Indigo Prophecy. It's like you're watching a movie, but you're in control of the decisions made to advance it. Don't get me wrong, it's not just cutscenes, you do control a lot of the gameplay. You need to be on your toes because quick-time events happen out of nowhere. Until Dawn is one of those games I try to play once a year. The best time being in January or February because it's cold out, depending upon where you're from, and it just sets the mood for the game. I don't have very many problems with the game other than you're often reminded of the butterfly effect, in which any choice of action by the player may cause unforeseen consequences later on. That's fine, but I don't think there are as many differences to the story as they make it seem. Other than people dying, but the story plays out the same every time. Not very many, but few decisions may bite you later, but not enough to drastically change the direction of the story. The deaths are the big thing here. Obviously the goal is to save everyone, and it's not very hard to do. I think this is a very fun game, and the story is awesome. It's done in episodes, and even does a little recap before the next part continues on. Personally, I think all the characters are pretty cool, except Emily. Play the game and you'll understand why. I think this is a good game, and I give it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I wish the story changed direction based upon the decisions, but the story stays, and the only thing that changes is who you have alive at the end. So come January or February, sit down, around 10 p.m., cup of hot chocolate, play Until Dawn, till dawn.